to the podcast to be named later here in the PK Pittsburgh Sports Podcasting Network. He's Jarrod Prugar. I'm Alex Stumpf. Jarrod, how's it going, man?
Alex, this is the last podcast that we will have in 2021, which is crazy. So that's wild. But it's not too bad. It's a Saturday. There's bowl games on, NFL games on. It's a sports fan's life and dreams come true. And we're just days away from Christmas.
Yeah, a week away. That's why we're not having a podcast, this time next week, because, it's going to be Christmas Day. And I got some, Twitter gave me some good Christmas questions to, that's going to be the final segment of this show. But let's reflect on what's happened in 2021. I can't even remember the year anymore here in the Pirates beat. Jarrod and I have pretty fearlessly marched through it the entire way through, whether it was this podcast or Young Bucs RIP.
Pour one out for Young Bucs.
Yeah. So Jarrod, I just want to go back to the beginning of the season before things really got started. And we were looking at prospect lists and where this organization was going long term. Here we are almost one whole calendar year later. Not to put words in your mouth, I think you'll agree that farm system wise, Pirates continue to trend in the right direction, but major league product, 2022 isn't going to be that much better than 2021, which by itself was pretty horrible.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, 2023 is a wild time for me. That's when I think Penn State's supposed to be good. The Pirates are supposed to be really good. Robert Morris hockey is back in 2023. Let's skip 2022.
Yeah, linearity of time is just a jerk like that. You can't do it.
I'll be 32, going on to 33. I don't know that there aren't any good songs. I guess everybody could like you when you're 33. But yeah, 2023 is supposed to be a wild year. But
that's going to be an interesting year for the Pirates. I mean, we saw that great group in Greensboro last year. They're going to be in your neck of the woods next year for Altoona. So 2023 promotions to the majors seems really, on the table for guys like Gonzalez and Peguero and Quinn Priester and just basically that whole core that's supposed to be the basis of, the next competitive Pirates team.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see those guys in Altoona and watch. With my luck, they'll end up skipping Double A and go straight to Triple A without collecting go or going past go and collecting $200 and collecting a couple coaster shots along the way. But yeah, I mean, it's a good group. I think it's a close-knit group, which is huge moving forward as they advance up the ranks. So it's going to be interesting to see where Cherington and company put them to start. I do think that they'll end up in Altoona at least to start and then venture off to Indianapolis. But, this is going to be a good group. I think Henry Davis starts at Double A. I think, there's a lot that can happen. But there's a lot of excitement for 2022 in the minor league system. Yeah.
I mean, this is something that's been floated in like live cues and everything. Like with the lockout and everything going on, you got to emphasize the minor leagues in 2022. Well, I think we just start in general. I mean, I'm mad at myself. I didn't get to make the trip down to Greensboro. Tom Reed did, which, was great. You got to see them in Altoona. I got to make a couple trips out to Altoona, but you did that as well. Got down to Indianapolis or over to Indianapolis, geographically speaking. So like, it's not like we neglected. Yeah, we got calls from people in Bradenton. We were able to, stretch our arms a little. I wish I could have spent like a weekend, in Greensboro, just like disconnect from the major league team for it. But, it was a crazy season. Didn't really get that opportunity. You doing some major league reps next year would definitely give me some free time, which will be nice.
Yeah, no, I think that, and I think that's what makes it fun because, Alex and I joke around all the time about us being friends, and we're not. We actually hate each other. To be perfectly honest, I hate his guts off the screen and off the air. But that's what makes a team work, like especially on baseball. Baseball is a grind. It's 365 days a year, 162 games ish. It's a lot. It's every day from February 15th all the way to November 15th. Well, for some teams, obviously the Pirates are done way before that. But you have to have a good support system. So, and our goal, I think, here with DK Pittsburgh Sports and for the Pirates podcast to be named later, formerly Young Bucs, it's one of those situations where, hey, you got to do its best. And right now, the minor league system's where it's at. So the minor league systems are niche. We have myself, we have Alex, we have Corey Geiger as well, the longest tenured beat writer in minor league baseball, doing stuff in Altoona. So we have a lot of options, and we're gonna, I think, really turn up our minor league coverage here in 2022, but also still keep the same unique quality content for the Pirates as well. And I think that's what's going to make this a sight to see moving forward for Pirates baseball.
To have this relate back to Pirates baseball, the major league product on the field, since end of the season, we're in a lockout. We don't have a whole lot of, we'll spend some time talking about the coaching, changes and what's going on there in the second segment. But before we wrap it up, segment one here, Jarrod, I want you to say three nice things about the 2021 Pittsburgh Pirates.
I got to cover a game. I got to cover 3 games. None of them had.
I almost had to die for it, Jarrod. Don't forget.
You had the sniffles. You were asymptomatic.
That's right.
But we did see each other through a distance. I broke into your car, got parking pass.
Yes, that happened.
And of those 3 games, none of them had any pregame availability. Obviously covered a day game or a weeknight game on a Wednesday, and it rained. September 11th, they had ceremonies before the game. No pregame batting practice, and then Sunday matinee game, there was no availability. So that was fun, but got to cover a game. There's promise in the future, and as a segue, changes are coming.
There we go. 3 good things from Jarrod Prugar. Hey, we got some coaching changes and just a bunch that's being shaken up right now throughout the Pirates system. We're going to talk about actual Pirates baseball here in segment 2.
Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. Alex, we ended the last segment without you saying 3 things that you can be thankful for the 2021 season.
No, it's 3 nice things.
3 nice things. Sorry, I'm in Thanksgiving and holiday mode. My bad. But 3 nice things about the 2021 season.
Brian Reynolds, David Bednar, and Ke'Bryan Hayes.
What is the ransom that Bednar has on you because you voted for him for Rookie of the Year, the only guy? You're saying he's a nice thing that happened. Is he on your speed dial right now?
I don't know if I put this anywhere. Pirates did a Thanksgiving giveaway, a food drive, that Bednar was there. And I went over there and was like, I feel like I owe you a case of Icy Light for that. So, but no, it was a well-deserved vote.
And it's a well-deserved case of Icy Light.
Yeah. I told him the mango. I like the mango one out of the
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I used to listen, Icy Light used to be my stuff, man. Iron City River Water. I love it.
It's no,
if there are any representatives from Icy Light listening to this, we would love to have you as a sponsor for this fine podcast and everything else we have here at the DK Pittsburgh Podcast Network. Please.
Does that conflict with Mike's?
No, because we can drink Icy Light at Mike's.
That goes against the spirit of Mike's, though. I go to Mike's, I go and I get a sour or Belgium that I can't get anywhere else in Pittsburgh. That's what I do that for. Come on.
Well, listen, I like to get my domestics. I don't like to mix it up.
All right. Enough free advertising. Let's talk about what's going on with the Pirates coaching staff. One departure at the major league level, one departure. At the minor league level, the minor league one is definitely the more compelling out of the two because Jarrod, you got a lot of time to talk and get to know Joel Hanrahan whenever he was with Altoona in 2019. This guy is going to be a major league pitching coach, or at the very least a bullpen coach someday in the future. And hey, he didn't get into any details whenever we talked, but he said that he had something more or less lined up, already. So maybe that day is coming up very soon. This, not to the sky is falling, the Pirates lost their minor league pitching coach, but this guy was their minor league coach of the year. And I don't think it's controversial to say he was one of the better coaches that they had throughout the system, and they kind of let him go for no good reason.
Yeah, I mean, Hanrahan was universally beloved as a player. That when he was the closer for the Pirates, everybody loved him. Obviously, he gets sent to the Red Sox in a trade, and his career really isn't the same. Well, Neil Huntington calls him up, says, "Hey, we have a spot open for you if you'd like to take up coaching." He takes it up. And lo and behold, here he is 5 years later. He's one of the best coaches in the system. Players love him. The coaches he coaches with love him. And, it's just one of those situations where there are a lot more questions than answers at this point right now. And I wish Hanrahan all the best. He was fun to watch as a player when we were growing up. But, being able to cover him, and he was always open and available. I was able to talk to him quite a few times in Altoona, and then this summer in Indianapolis, and he just gets it. He understands the game, but he blends that new school analytics with old school, just being personable and just building those relationships. And yeah, I think it has helped Mitch Keller to an extent. You can see it helping Max Kranick. So it's just one of those situations where it's kind of why, when you look at it, the Pirates do have an open spot there. They have two guys doing the job of three right now on the big league pitching staff. It's why not Joel Hanrahan, but maybe Ben Cherington has something bigger up his sleeves. And obviously Joel Hanrahan has something bigger coming up for himself as well.
See, I have a hard time believing having something bigger up his sleeves, though, in this situation. And I don't want to put words in Joel Hanrahan's mouth. And this is purely speculation on my part. Actually, this first part isn't speculation. Joel Hanrahan wants to coach at the major league level. It's as simple as that. And the way to do that is either to get a major league coaching position, which after 5 years of being a minor league coach is definitely in play, or to become a pitching coordinator or some other front office role, something else that he would be qualified for because he has been doing this in the minor leagues for 5 years on top of that playing career on top of it. So in both cases, this is the speculation part on my end. The Pirates offered him a minor league contract. They offered him multi-year contracts. I can't help but think maybe if they would have worked out some way that, you coach in the minor leagues one more year and then you're a major league coach, like maybe that could have gotten the job done, but major leagues was just never brought up at any point in this equation. And I don't blame someone like if Oscar Marin he and Joel Hanrahan, maybe they don't, not say that they're not compatible because they were compatible, but there's a difference, relationship, up at the major league level versus, a major league coach and a minor league coach. Major league pitching coaches have, some level of synergy with the minor leagues. Maybe it works fine there. Maybe it doesn't work fine at a major league level, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I just have a hard time finding a way that Oscar Marin doesn't have the results yet. And I don't blame people who are frustrated with what the Pirates pitching has done the last 2 years because it's not good. I take the approach that there's only so much juice you can squeeze out of the Chase DeYoung orange, out of the Trevor Cahill orange, out of all these guys that have come through that are not really major league pitchers. Every single time there's a waiver claim going through, I give Oscar more or less a buy from these first 2 years because there just hasn't been that much to work with. And we could talk about Mitch Keller, and Mitch Keller, I think his problem goes beyond just a pitching coach. Like, something may have been touched in that last start of the season. He looked pretty good. He was actually extending something he hadn't done all season long. Whatever the reason is for his struggles at the major league level, I don't know how much you could throw that on the pitching coach's feet, but that's basically the one example of like a true blue. This guy's supposed to be good and he's not, that you could throw, at Oscar Marine's fault. But at the major league level, I see them taking a lot of good positive steps. If he actually had a lot of major league talent to go there, I don't think we would be thinking, twice with Oscar Marine. I think he's building a good infrastructure. He just doesn't have the pieces for it right now. Justin Message, I think, is a terrific bullpen coach. He's very good at preparing his guys, getting his guys ready. He's well respected in there. I think there are two good pitching coaches there, but everyone else in baseball has at least three. I don't know why there is just this divide of why it has to be just two. The Pirates made some changes to their major league coaching staff for the first time in the Derek Shelton era, and not on the pitching side. It's just confusing. Jeremy Blash is in there also, but he's also more like the analytics guy. So if you want to count that as a coach, a third coach, then maybe the Pirates have three. But no, you need three traditional major league coaches, and they don't. And they had the clear third guy, waiting.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, because I think we all know that Joel Hanrahan can do it. I mean, every pitcher that I've talked to in the last 3 years has mentioned what Hanrahan has meant to him, whether that's Mitch Keller, whether that's Kranick, whether that's anybody. I mean, it's just one of those situations where they love working for him. He gets it. He's a personable coach. He understands what they're going through as major leaguers. And that's just one of those situations where it's like, why? What is the Pirates end game for that position, for the major league staff? Because, is it going to work? I mean, yeah, is there anything to work with? Has there been anything to work with? No, probably not. And that's, when you're going through a rebuild or reload or however you want to say it, that's just kind of the nature of the beast for everybody. So that's a situation too. But yeah, it's tough. It's really weird to me, because this is a guy that I think he just won Coach of the Year award, and you can't find a place for him at the major league level, whether you think it's warranted or even down the line. And to me, for a guy that's probably knocking on the door pretty hard to get to the next level, I would say the minor league contract extension is probably a slap in the face.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Joel made sure to bring that up. Like, the negotiations were fine, like in terms of money. The Pirates offered single year, multi-year. They were trying to find ways to keep him. They explored basically every single avenue besides making him a major league pitching coach or coordinator. And we're going to speculate for that in the while. Joel Hanrahan, he has a very strong major league trajectory. He is going to become a bullpen coach or pitching coach at the major league level. He checks basically every box that you want out of a guy like that.
Right.
And just to wrap up real fast here, because I did threaten to, Herbie Adondre, who had been with the organization for 18 years as a bullpen catcher and a catching assistant, he is moving on to the Padres so he could be reunited with Francisco Cervelli, presumably. So there we go. There's two people there. Padres are getting a lot of people. They also got Brian Esposito.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too, the former Indianapolis Indians manager. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's the coaching carousel now, both in a lot of different ways and a lot of different areas. But no, I'm interested to see how the staff works out. I mean, they've made finals, some hires, and you know what? They're trusting Derek Shelton to make the right decisions and surround him with the people that he needs to surround himself with. And, at the end of the day, that wasn't Joel Hanrahan. For whatever reason, I'd be very interested to see or listen to what the coaching staff and what Sherrington thought and what they think of Joel. I'm sure it'll be complimentary to an extent, but I'm very interested to see why they didn't feel he was quite ready for that step just yet.
Yeah, that's one of those I hope someone spills, like why he wasn't considered a major league ready coach, which I do not know. I do not know yet right now. I'll be open with that. I have asked. I will continue to ask because that is something that definitely warrants an explanation. And I think we can end it right there. Whenever we come back, we're going to end on a far more light note. I'm going to grill Jarrod with the Christmas questions that you guys asked us. Welcome back to the podcast to be named later here in the DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcasting Network. Jarrod, I didn't tag you this time, so these questions are going to be completely blind to you. I've had a little time to premeditate here, but this is Lockout Episode 3. This last segment is not baseball related because there is no actual baseball going on at the moment, so our non-topic or non-baseball topics to riff about are all Christmas questions. So here we go, Jarrod. What is your favorite Christmas cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was going to call you out, like, is that really Christmas-y? But no, that's fine. That's fine. Buttermilk for me. That is.
That's fair.
Is Elf a Christmas movie?
Absolutely.
Is it?
How is it not?
I mean, there's the Santa aspect on it, but it's really more a family movie. It's a fish out of water type of deal. This is something Steve Brightman
asked. It is a family-based movie where an elf looks to find his real family, but he's Santa Claus's helper.
Okay, but how much?
And it is Christmas season. I mean, Die Hard is a damn Christmas movie.
It's probably less of a Christmas movie than Die Hard, in my opinion.
What are you talking about?
I mean, if Die Hard's a Christmas movie because it takes place during Christmas,
then Elf definitely is.
I mean, that's basically it, though. That's the only attachment other than like a.
In Santa's real.
That's done after like 10 pages in the screenplay. It's pretty much just fish out of water.
Fixes his sleigh.
That's at the very end.
You're talking to a guy that's dressed up as Elf. Come on, man. Yeah. Elf is a Christmas movie.
Elf is first 10% absolutely Christmas movie, last 10% absolutely Christmas movie, then 80% it could be anything.
And listening to Zoe Deschanel sing, that works too.
Yeah. All right, Josh Taylor, friend of the podcast, speaking of Die Hard, says, why are Die Hard and Home Alone basically the same exact movie, only to be duplicated in their sequels? I'm going to let you in on a secret, Jarrod. I have not seen Home Alone 2.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
So that works for me.
Excellent question, Joshua.
What is your favorite Christmas special / movie? And Michael Lynch suggested Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, which after Googling, I am even more confused about what that is.
My favorite Christmas special is anything Charlie Brown. I like Snoopy and I like Charlie Brown. And clearly some people on this podcast, I'm not going to name names, Alex, think that certain movies aren't Christmas movies, even though they discuss characters that revolve around Christmas character.
For me, it's the animated Grinch. All right, the old one from the 60s. And here's my Christmas hot take. The Grinch did not hate Christmas.
He hated people.
He hated people because people are noisy jagoffs and he wanted some damn peace and quiet. That's what it is. That's the motivation behind everything.
He was an angry Yinzer. Get him some Iron City.
There we go. And to wrap it all off, one more. Luigi Bot said that getting a gift card is worse than actually getting a present or getting a present that you don't actually like. Jarrod, what is the worst gift card that you have ever been given for Christmas?
Oh man, I wouldn't say that. I don't know that there's a bad gift card. I do find value in gift cards all the time. I think the worst gift for me growing up, um, my grandmother used to give me something awful every year, and like it was just not like it would be like from like a discount store, and it'd be like the cheesiest random shirt ever. And I think I got something Steelers one time, and I am just not clearly a Steelers fan. Um, so that was one thing. Oh, and when I was growing up, I'm actually the one sport that I do tend to become a fan in is the NFL, and I like the Dallas Cowboys now. I didn't at the time. I was a big Tennessee Titans fan growing up. Steve McNair, rest in peace, was my boy. Him and Javon Curse, Kevin Dyson, Frank Wycheck, Eddie George. Back when Jeff Fisher was more than just 8-7, and 8-8. That was my team. So my grandmother got me an Emmitt Smith Cowboys shirt and a Cowboys turtleneck, and there are pictures of me just looking straight up miserable as I wore it. Like, it's awful. My mom like still has them somewhere.
And the Cowboys have brought you nothing but misery since, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no such thing as happiness at this time of year. Although this year they're not eliminated from the playoffs right now, so there is still hope, which means at some point they're going to break every fiber of my confidence and my heart.
Well, we'll see if they're still not eliminated 2 weeks from now whenever we come back. No podcast next week. Thank you so much for listening throughout all of 2021. We really appreciate it. Jarrod and we've podcasted in the past. We can't believe that this has the outreach that it does right now. This is insane. Thank you all so much. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We will see you in 2022.